Hello everybody and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Millie and I post at least 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday, always cruelty free, usually drugstore makeup reviews. However, I do love an indie eyeshadow palette and that is what we're getting into today. I am so excited, I cannot even tell you. This is the Cosmic Beauty The Sun eyeshadow palette. So this is the next installment in their tarot card collection. And just look at this colour story. Just look at this colour story. It is incredible. So bright, so sugary, so sweet. So many of these shades look incredibly shifty. Yes, I did get my nails done orange to match the impeccable vibes that are going on in this palette. I'm so excited. Genuinely, I think that this might be one of my favourite palettes from Cosmic. And I have favourites, but I think that this, just looking at this colour story, I feel so inspired by it. I can't wait. I can't wait to get this on my eyeballs. So I'm going to go ahead and do some swatches. I'm going to go off and do them because I just need to turn my fan up. I've been filming for 2 minutes. I already need to turn my fan back up. So I'm going to go ahead and do some swatches, zoom you in, and we can come up with some sort of fun, warm, colourful eyeshadow look. Of course I'm going to put that blue on the inner corner. Are you new here? Of course I am. If you are new here, subscribe because there's going to be loads more content around this palette. I can already tell you that for free. I will be doing an eyeshadow palette bingo. I will be doing a 3 looks with. There will be so much more content around this palette because genuinely I just feel so inspired by it. This could potentially be palette of the year. I know. I haven't even swatched a single shade yet, but just judging by the colour story and the quality that I have come to know from Cosmic, it could be palette of the year. But let me go ahead and do some swatches, zoom you in, and we can do an eyeshadow look together. I'm excited. Okay, so this is the full colour story all swatched out. Let me just quickly point these out to you. So we have got Joy, which is a very smooth, sort of very dispersed sort of ivory glitter. Then we have got Leo, a bright matte orange. Abundance, which is a sort of baby pink to almost like a lime green shift. Again, very pretty, very smooth. Then we have got Content, which is a matte baby blue. Positivity, which is a matte light lemon. Success, which is another duochrome, more peachy into sort of a lemony yellow shade. Then we have got Flourishing, which is a light pink peachy matte. Then we have got Clarity, which is the most incredible pink, like a mid-tone pink to a bright baby blue. Yeah, you can see that when I twist my arm like that. See how bright that goes? It's incredible. Then we have got this matte yellow here is called Energy. Then the orange up here, which is slightly more of a red toned orange, that one is Beacon. Then we have a slightly deeper peachy pink matte, which is Opportunity. And then the purple matte up here is Self-Discovery. Then we have more of like a pastel sort of tangerine shade, and this one is Enlightened. Then we have Fulfillment, which is almost like a foil. It doesn't seem to have any shift to it, but it is very smooth, very pigmented. Then we have Harmony, which is a matte fuchsia. Embrace, which is another shimmer, more of like a lilac-y tone. Then we have Happiness, which is almost like a brown to green shift. Again, very smooth, very pretty. Then we have this matte red, which is called Vitality, almost like a burgundy, a very pretty shade. Then we have Confidence, which is a dark purple shimmer, and Optimism, which is an incredible matte navy blue. So that is the full colour story. Obviously I am very drawn to the oranges, but I'm also like, I just need this shade, which is Clarity. I just need that basically all over my lid, because that's like the one that I was instantly drawn to in the palette. I will say that these shimmers, like the duochromes here, which is Abundance and Success, they definitely surprised me. I wasn't expecting both of those to be shifty, but I love both of them, and they do shift quite differently as well. I was worried, like in the pan they look quite similar, but they do shift very, very differently. So I already have the Beauty Bay eye primer all over my eyelids, and I didn't clean any brushes because I bought a new set of brushes. So these are the, I can't remember the name of them. They're the lilac ones with with the lilac handles. I bought a whole new set, so we're going to be using these today. For today's look, let's start with the CB3, and I'm going to go into, let's go into Self-Discovery, which is the dark purple. I'm going to go darkest to lightest. I'm going to use that Clarity pink shift all over the eye. I'm going to use that bright baby blue right on the inner corner, especially because Clarity has quite a bit of blue in it. I feel like that will go. And what else? I don't know. I maybe will try and go a little bit more pink, because I feel like the obvious answer, and what you're probably expecting me to do, is all of those beautiful oranges. But there's plenty of time for a look like that, because like I say, I'm going to be doing so much more content around this palette. So I have just dipped into that Self-Discovery shade, and let's pack this onto the outer corner to get this as dark as I would like it right out there. So I have just sort of dragged that along the lash line a little bit. They're not at all equal, but that's fine. That is none of my business. So I'm going to go in with a fluffier brush, and I'm going to go into Opportunity, which is that sort of peachy shade next to Self-Discovery, and I'm going to use that just to start above the crease, blending this purpley shade inwards a little bit, softening down that top edge. I think I might go in with Harmony, that bright hot pink, which is 100% out of my comfort zone, but I think I've got an idea forming in my head. I never come to these videos with any sort of idea. I just know that I need that Clarity shade all over all over my eyelid. Honestly, it's incredible. The shift is so bright. That blue, it's beautiful. So I think I'm quite happy with the amount of that shade there. I'm just going to take this same brush and go into, let's go into Flourishing, which is it this one? Yes, this one here, which is just a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, again just with that same brush, and I will use that over the top edge just very lightly, like one dip into there, and I'm like barely holding on to the brush, just very lightly buffing that over the very top edge. Now I'm going to pick up a dirty brush, and you're not going to judge how dirty it is, but there is a reason. Okay, so this is the Cosmic Brushes CB4, which I now have a new one of in this new little bundle that I purchased. This is already stained purple, so I'm going to keep this as like my purple CB4, and I'm going to go into that Harmony shade, which was that bright hot pink, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that and put that slightly further into the crease. I'm actually thinking I might use some of the yellows, like skip the oranges, but go into the bright yellow. I don't know, we're just having fun. It's what day is it today? It's Tuesday. Hopefully you will see this on Wednesday. if I can get it edited in time. But I don't have anywhere to be tonight. I'm just having fun. We're just playing. This is a work in progress. We're figuring it out together. But it doesn't matter if I don't really like how it turns out. I just want to try as many shades as possible. There's fun in just playing to have no real outcome. I just want to play. So I have also just taken a really small amount of that Harmony shade over the top edge of that purple that we put down first, so it's almost creating like a V shape on the outer corner, which I am very, very much enjoying that shape. I feel like we've gone quite pink now, which was the plan. I do quite like how this is shaping up. So let's just think. What do I want to do? I definitely want some of that energy because it's so bright, that yellow. So let's take this brush because it's already got yellow on it, which is the CB3. I suppose we could do a whole look just with cosmic brushes, just with the brushes that are in this set that I bought. I have multiple of these sets. I love them. That's why I bought another set. So I'm just going to pack that energy shade on the inner part of my crease here, and hopefully that will blend nicely into these pink shades. Yeah, and it'll go a little bit orangey, that's fine. I just don't want to necessarily add any of the oranges because I feel like that's the obvious answer for me, like the obvious look. And I'm trying to do something a little bit kooky today. Not what you would necessarily expect, although I am definitely packing that baby blue all over the inner corner, so of course I am. Yes, I'm very, very happy with the amount of that yellow, so I'm just going to go back in with the larger brush, which was the CB1, and I'm going to buff over the top edge, not with any more product, but let's just see how much I can soften that yellow down with a slightly fluffier brush. Yes, and then I will take, what will I do? I will go in with a little bit of Positivity, which was more of like a lighter lemony shade, and I will buff that over the top edge of the lemon yellow, the bright yellow. You know what I'm talking about. It's very fitting that I'm using the Sun palette today when the temperature inside of this room feels like I am on the surface of the sun. It is so warm today, and I was going to wait to film this because it's meant to cool down tomorrow. I was like, you know what, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I need to get these colours on my eyeballs, and I'm glad that I am because I'm having fun. So I've just tapped a little bit more of that energy shade on the inner part of the eye there. I think I just want a tiny little bit more of that Harmony, that hot pink, just to blend into that yellow a touch. And then we can get on into these shimmers because I'm excited about them. I'm really excited about the shimmers. So I've just done a little bit more buffing and blending for the mattes, and I think I'm ready. I think I am ready to go in with that shimmer. So I'm actually going to add, I'm going to be sensible about this, I'm going to add just a little bit of the Troublemaker Lot of Life eyeshadow primer because this is really sort of tacky. It's almost a glitter glue, I feel like, and I do sort of use it in that way. So I'm just going to tap a little bit over the centre part of the eyelid here, tap it out with my brush, just the same primer brush that I was using before, and then we can get into that shimmer because I really feel like a tacky base will just help very, very much intensify this. Not that I feel like I need it, because obviously I didn't have any sort of eyeshadow primer on my arm when I swatched it, but on my eyelid I want it to be incredible, so giving it a real good shot with a nice tacky primer, but just over the centre part of the lid there. And I'm just going to use my finger. Let's go into Clarity. Just look at that shade. Oh, it's so good. And I'm going to tap this all over the lid. This shade is so good. Oh, I think I'm going to have to get my phone to really show you the shift, but oh, it's so good. Cosmic. Their eyeshadows, if you haven't tried the Cosmic Beauty eyeshadow formula, it is phenomenal. And I also do think that it's worth noting the price here. So this is a, how many pans are in this? 28? 20, it literally says on the front. 20 shade palette. You get these incredible duochromes. The mattes are phenomenally pigmented. I find them very, very user friendly. They are so, so easy to use. And this palette was £28 full price. £28 full price. I'm just going in with a CB2, which is just a little bit more dense, and I'm picking up more of that Clarity shade on that brush just to get it further into the inner corner, and also to disperse this colour upwards because it's incredible and I want you to be able to see it. I'm thinking I might use that purple shimmer further out to add a little bit more depth, and to say that we've used more shimmers. I'm just going back in with a little bit more of that energy, that bright yellow, just to tap over the top edge. I think I'm happy with how this is looking. I still want that yellow to be very, very bright, even though I also want that incredible shimmer over the top of it. So I'm just going to use this same brush and dip very lightly into Confidence, which is that dark purple shimmer. And I'm going to put that a little bit further out. Ooh, that was very pigmented. You saw how little I had on the brush there, and that's going over that pink, like those pinks that I put on the outer corner. Real pretty. So it's just adding a little bit more depth, a little bit of something, just like that. I'm thinking I want a shimmer, more of one of those lighter ones that had a bit of a yellow in it. Let's go in with this one, which is Success, and I'm going to take that on another CB2. I'm going to take a little bit of that and sort of put that up over that yellow. That is exactly what I wanted. How many shimmers can one gal fit on her eyeball at once? The answer so far is 3, but there's room for more. There is room for more, but I am just tapping that over. I call this the swoop, like the inner swoop. So you just get a little bit of that shade sort of above the crease on the inner part of the eye, and that's really adding to that yellow on the inner corner. I really like that. And I am also just tapping that up like under the brow bone as well. So I think I'm good. I need to stop before I do everything. I think I am good to stop here. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to do the rest of my face, and then we can do something under the eye. I might do more of the like blue to red. I don't know. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to do the rest of my face. And you know what? We can figure it out together. Okie dokie. So you join me as I am just neatening up that yellow right on the inner corner. Obviously I put concealer etc around there, so just making sure that that yellow is still real nicely blended. And I think, what do I want to do for the lower lash line? That is a great question. I'm thinking maybe the red. Would that be weird? I feel like the obvious answer is to just mirror what I've already got, but I feel like I want to try some of the other shades. So let's take the CB4 into Vitality, that deep red, and I'm just going to take a real small amount of that all the way along the lower lash line, and I might put a little bit of the purple further out just to sort of join it up, but I think I'm quite happy with just that red. It is sort of still tonal because obviously I did more of the pink, so it sort of matches. I just wanted to try some more of the shades, some of the ones that I haven't picked out yet. And I will just go back in with that CB3 that I was using for that dark purple originally, and I will just get a very, very small amount of that again and just tap it right over the outer corner and onto the very outer corner of the lower lash line, just to join it up with what we've got on the lid, but nothing too crazy. I do want to soften this line down a little. Obviously I cleaned that up with the micellar water, but I want to soften it a touch. I'm also just making sure that that darkest purple Self-Discovery is as dark as I would like it along the lash line. I don't think I'm going to do a wing. Honestly, we've got the shape of a wing anyway with that darker purple, so I don't think I'm going to do that, but I am going to go ahead and add some of the white eyeshadow primer from Beauty Bay, just a touch of that right onto the inner corner. We'll also put a little touch there, like a little bit further along on the, like under the tear duct area, so that this blue can really grab onto that shade, because I just think that that's going to be beautiful and it will really add a lot of brightness right in there. So I'm just taking a dense sort of pencil brush and pressing that eyeshadow primer in, just so that it's nice and thin and sort of flat across the skin, and you can already see that that's like a nice little bright pop of something. So I'm going to take one of my favourite brushes, the CB4, into Content, that bright powdery baby blue, and I'm going to tap that all over that eyeshadow primer. Not that I think that this shade needed an eyeshadow primer, like obviously it was very, very pigmented on the swatch. I don't think it needs it. I just love putting an eyeshadow primer, like a white eyeshadow primer, down to really help intensify the shade and also help me just keep it a little bit more precise, because otherwise I would blend and blend and blend, but I do want this to be very precise on that inner corner and along that lower little bit of the lash line. And who is mad at that? Not me. I love it. So I am just very, very lightly tapping that blue so that it blends a little bit here, but in here I want it to be very, very like intense and precise. But I can tap a little bit there to blend that in. So I think I'm done. I think I am done. So like I say, I'm not going to add a wing. I will find something for the waterline. I'm thinking that Troublemaker one It's like a lilac-y tone. I feel like that will go. But something for the waterline, mascara, and then we are done. And I haven't used a single orange shade. It's a miracle. There we go. So just a little lick of mascara. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, it looks like this where I wish I was the kind of gal that could apply lashes because I do feel like this look, this incredible shimmer, all of these colours, I do feel like they deserve a beautiful lash. I'm just not skilled enough to do that. So I did also put a little bit of the Troublemaker Mischief eyeliner in Curveball, which is like a lilac-y shade. I put that in the waterline and I feel like that has sort of tied everything together really, really nicely. So that is my finished look. I'm already excited to dive into this for work tomorrow. Like I'm going to do some more like orangey looks. I feel like you could do something very sort of neutral, like with this shimmer down here. I'm excited to play with this palette some more. I'm feeling very, very inspired by this. I'm very, very excited that brands are coming out with more warm toned palettes and more oranges. Obviously, look at me. I love an orange. It is one of my favourite colours. Honestly, it brings me so much joy having beautiful, bright, fun colours around me. You know what else brings me joy? Being able to take a hair clip out of my hair without leaving myself with a bald patch. That would also make me real happy. But first impression for the Sun palette, I'm impressed, can you tell? So like I say, I would love to hear if you have picked up this palette, if you're going to pick it up, whatever your thoughts are, I want to hear them down below. I will leave this palette linked. I use the code KerryK, which is affiliated but to Kerry. It's not affiliated to me. Find someone's affiliate code and use it, but it is already, I feel like it is already at a great price point. I would love to hear if you pick it up, what you think of it. If you've already got it, what colour combinations you are enjoying. I hope you have found this video useful. I'm going to be doing so much more content around this palette because wowzers trousers, I am excited about it. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye bye.